And in the ride, highly cushioned, yes. Soft, yes, but up to a point. But before we get into it, guys, can I remind you, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. That's gonna massively help this channel out. All right, let's get into it. So this is the full review of the On Cloudeclipse. So neutral max cushion road running shoe, priced here in Australia $270. Pretty expensive in the US, $180. Weight wise, 285 grams or 10 ounces in a men's size 9. Stack height wise, 37 in the rear, 31 in the front. Now that gives us a 6mm drop. So for scores in the weight, this shoe feels a little bottom heavy and it's not quite under that 10 ounce mark, 7 out of 10. So in the upper here, we've got a pretty light and breathable engineered mesh. So especially through the toe box, I love those big breathing holes through there. Materials they're using in the upper is really top quality, so excellent build quality in this shoe. Padding wise, very minimal padding, so just a little bit around the heel collar there. We've got 2 pads that run up and down the tongue like such. The tongue is gusseted and this tongue is really nice, so one of the best tongues on the market. Lacing system, so they don't have any traditional eyelets on this. They've just got those little cables that the laces weave through. So the lacing system on this could be better because I have struggled to get those laces cinched down and provide a good lockdown in the shoe. But that's not where the lockdown issues are in this shoe for me. And in the fit, well, this is a big fit, so a very big upper. So lengthwise, it's pretty close to true to size, but lots of volume in the upper. So you can consider coming a half size down, however, you need to be cautious about the length of the shoe. The toe box width is just right, so not too wide, not too narrow. And the lockdown, so this is where we are getting our issue with this shoe, and that's because of the big fit in the upper. So I've tried to wear thicker socks, and I've also tried the runner's knot or the heel lock to try to stop my heel slippage. However, that didn't work. So what I done is I actually removed the sock liner out of this shoe and put a thicker sock liner in. So I used the Saucony Triumph 20 sock liner and put that one in, and voila, that fixed my issue. However, you shouldn't have to do that with the shoe, especially if you're going to pay top dollar for it. So overall, this is actually a really nice upper. It's built well, quality materials. It's just got that one issue, the lockdown issue, and it's a fairly big issue, 7 out of 10. Right, so in the midsole here, they're using their Helion foam, but it's definitely a different mixture of what they're using in the On CloudMonster, what I'm testing also now. So big stack of that Helion, they're using their CloudTech phase, so that's the same technology or the same shape of clouds as what they're using in the Cloud Surfer. So these clouds just collapse on themselves and then they push back up as you roll through your foot strike. Geometry wise, fairly significant looking rocker. And they've got a speed board at the bottom of the shoe that's giving this shoe some stiffness. It's not overly stiff, but there definitely is a little bit of stiffness. And in the ride, highly cushioned, yes. Soft, yes, but up to a point. So soft up to a point where the clouds collapse, and then you sort of feel like a firmness of where the clouds collapse and bottom out. And then obviously, as you roll through your foot strike, the clouds obviously open back up, and you're meant to get a bit of a pop sensation as you roll through the foot strike. But I'm not getting any energy return or bounce sensation. I'm just getting some cushion. And I think because of the way the clouds collapse, I'm not really feeling an aggressive rocker in the shoe at all. So I feel like when the clouds collapse, they go underneath the rocker, and then as they pop up, then you come on the rocker and then you start rolling forward. So I don't think it is the most efficient design. Well, it isn't for my foot strike anyway. But what's surprising is you actually feel like you're putting in a little more work than you have to. So you don't feel too efficient in this shoe and you feel like you're slogging it out of the midsole. However, when I looked down at my watch, I was surprised a few times because I was actually ticking along quite nicely. So it's obviously doing something and it's ticking the legs over, but it's definitely not noticeable, and my perceived effort is probably a little higher than it should be in this shoe. So scores wise for the midsole and the ride, well, yeah, it's nice, it's not bad, but it's not blowing me out of the park. I think it could be better, 7.5 out of 10. Right, so in the outsole here we've got a fair amount of rubber coverage, so especially a lot through the forefoot and midfoot there. So we've just got some exposed foam where the flex grooves are, and we've got a bit of a channel here in the forefoot as well. High wear areas at the back, and also we've got another bit of a channel or a groove through the rear foot. Now this outsole rubber is really nice, so it's soft, but it's quite hard wearing, and most of all very sticky, very grippy in all conditions. So I've had it in the wet, I've had it on the dirt, obviously in the dry. Oh, love the sensation that this outsole is giving me. One of the best outsoles on the market, I think. I think it's up there with Puma Grip, and I think it's up there with Adidas's Continental rubber. So very happy with this one. 8.5 out of 10. Right, so best use for me, well, I don't think this is best suited to a long run. And that's just because of the experience I get with the ride. So I feel like when you run in this shoe, it takes the zap out of the run, but it gives you nothing back. So I like to feel I'm getting something back in my long run shoe, especially when they start ticking around 2 hours and so forth. So for this one, it just feels like I'm doing a little bit too much work in the latter stages of the long run. However, really suited to easy days and recovery days. And who's this shoe best for? Well, if you've got a really big foot, so lots of volume in your foot, and you need a big voluminous shoe, this one may suit you, so especially the fit. But this shoe is also really nice just to walk around in. So if you want a shoe to walk around in and cruise around in, these clouds actually collapse and feel quite nice on the walk. Right, so some similar shoes or other options or the competition for this, definitely the On CloudMonster. It's another maximal cushion shoe from On. I'm going to say the Saucony Convara Pro. That is a stiff shoe, so stiffer than this one. So if you like a stiff rocket shoe, look at that one. Also the Asics Glide Ride, and also I'll throw another Saucony Endorphin Shift 3. I wish I could have tested this shoe with the different sock liner that I put in it, because the scores would be totally different. So now I've got this shoe to fit me. It's actually a better shoe than what the scores are going to reflect, but I've got to score the shoe in its original state. So yeah, it just had that one glaring issue, the lockdown. So if that lockdown issue was sorted, the scores would have been drastically different. So if you're watching or listening out there, on quick fix to this issue, start dropping thicker sock liners in the shoe, and that should fix the heel slip issue for most people. For your next version, let's add a little bit more padding around the heel collar, and that should solve those lockdown issues for us. So if you are going to go out and buy this one, I urge you to go and try the shoe on. So it's pretty risky to order this one online, especially if you're going to get true to size, and even if you're going to come half a size down, because the length may not allow you to come down half a size. So I urge you to go try this one on before you buy it. If you can get the fit right, you're probably going to really enjoy this shoe. So anyway guys, that's it from me. If you've got any questions regarding my time in the Eclipse, how it compares to anything else, drop them in the comments below. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.